Everyone loves a good mystery, and now seems as good a time as ever to dive into the mystery movie genre. Luckily, there are plenty of films out there just begging to be discovered. From perplexing puzzles to harrowing whodunits, here are the best mysterious movies currently on Netflix. If there's one singular mystery that's puzzled and terrified humankind since the dawn of time, it's this: what happens to us when we die? Unsurprisingly, this is a topic that cinema has approached in all kinds of ways. But few of those movies have been brave enough to tackle the mysteries of the afterlife as directly as Charlie McDowell's The Discovery. The movie is set in a not-too-distant future where a scientist named Thomas Harbour has proven conclusively that the afterlife does indeed exist. Unfortunately, he doesn't know exactly where or what it really is. In the wake of mass suicides by folks eager to find out for themselves, those answers become more vital than ever. Years after the discovery, Harbour's deeply skeptical son and an enigmatic young woman arrive at the scientist's research compound and find the search for answers has led to the invention of a device designed to record the afterlife experience. From there, the discovery only gets weirder in the best possible way. The film uses its central mystery to frame a beautifully textured and grounded character study steeped in simmering small-scale dramas, grand theological commentary, and a dash of heart-wrenching romance. It also happens to be a first-rate slice of hard sci-fi cinema. Adapted from a novel by Koji Suzuki, Hideo Nakata's near-flawless J-horror The Ring was so successful that an inevitable English-language remake soon followed. In 2002, Gore Verbinski brought his version of The Ring to theaters, and in doing so, unleashed one of the greatest horror movies of the modern era. These days, The Ring's plot is practically iconic. Just in case you're still in the dark, however, the movie follows a reporter who stumbles onto a perplexing story about a videotape that kills anyone who watches it 7 days later. Want to know more? Then go watch it, because this isn't a movie you want spoiled for you. Here's one guarantee though: you'll never see the film's shocking final moments coming, and there's a good chance you'll be haunted by them for years to come. For many films, the mystery is the whole point of the story. Sometimes, however, it's merely a tool used to set in motion a far more ambitious narrative. In the case of Trey Edward Schultz's dramatic thriller, It Comes at Night, the movie's horrifying mystery serves as the entry point for several more small-scale dramas driven by fear, paranoia, and a desperate need to protect the things that matter most. The story unfolds in the aftermath of a pandemic event that has wiped out untold numbers of the world's population. More specifically, the film follows a man and his family riding things out in a secluded cabin in the woods, only to find their rigorously structured life upended by the arrival of another family. As is the case with many mystery movies, you probably don't want to know much more, and it's really best to enter It Comes at Night with as little information as possible. Just know that, as the film's minor mysteries begin to unravel, a far more grueling picture of humanity unfolds within them. Those mysteries are made all the more affecting thanks to the steely, low-key direction of burgeoning auteur Schultz. Not to mention a series of fantastic turns from the cast, including Christopher Abbott, Riley Keough, Carmen Ejogo, and Joel Edgerton. If creepy mystery movies have taught us anything over the years, it's that people should probably be wary of long-lost friends turning up at their door. Clearly, someone forgot to tell that to Jason Bateman's character in The Gift, because when Simon and his wife Robin bump into his old high school chum Gordo, they immediately strike up an awkward kinship with the man. The plot thickens when Gordo begins making uninvited appearances in Simon and Robin's lives and starts offering them some seriously head-scratching gifts. With each new encounter, tensions between the three begin to ratchet up all the more, and it's not immediately clear why. Fear not, however, as all is eventually revealed in The Gift, and it soon becomes obvious that the murky past of one of the film's characters is coming back to haunt them. Beyond that, you'll just have to find out for yourself. But this devious revenge movie, expertly directed by star Joel Edgerton, cuts deep into the psyches of its lead characters, and is bound to leave you pondering the pivotal mystery long after the credits roll. One of the key ingredients of any great mystery story is the fear of the unknown, and the hugely unnerving small-scale sci-fi drama Freaks is positively steeped in it. In fact, it's that particular fear that drives not just the film's overarching story, but every brazen twist and turn contained within its narrative. The story follows one brave little girl who's being kept in total seclusion from the world by her increasingly paranoid father in the aftermath of what's presumed to be some sort of apocalyptic event. As the story unfolds, however, it becomes clear that the world outside isn't exactly what the father has made of it, but that doesn't mean that he's totally lying either. Freaks is a puzzle box of a film, the pieces of which eventually form a twisted picture that'll likely extend far beyond your expectations. As such, part of the fun of the film is watching the brilliant ways in which the movie carefully places each piece, allowing the mysteries of Freaks to reveal themselves at a pace that's simultaneously slow-burning and brashly kinetic. In a perfect world, the name Asghar Farhadi would already carry the same sort of weight and reverence as that of David Fincher or Darren Aronofsky. Though his name is highly regarded in the realm of international cinema, Farhadi hasn't found the same notoriety with North American audiences just yet. With any luck, however, the director's subtle yet savagely tense thriller Everybody Knows will change that. Although Everybody Knows is a Spanish-language film, don't let the language barrier put you off, because this is very much a classic kind of thriller, one as steeped in long-buried secrets and mysteries as it is in true-blooded pulse-pounding thrills. For much of the film, Farhadi takes the slow burn approach, using the first 30 minutes to build an intricately constructed house of cards around the protagonist's interfamilial relationships. But these characters' worlds begin to crumble when a beloved family member goes missing. In the wake of the disappearance, deep dark secrets begin to find the light, and Everybody Knows pivotal mystery begins to unfurl with Shakespearean weight. Of course, it also helps that, along the way, Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem deliver two of their finest performances to date. And that's saying something. Nothing suits a mystery quite like a cult. This has a lot to do with the fact that the cult mentality is as puzzling as the enigmatic figures who front the cults themselves. Though Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead's 2017 Lovecraftian stunner The Endless takes the enigmatic leader mostly out of the equation, their film remains a no less sinister psychological study of cults themselves, one that also happens to be driven by a horrifying supernatural mystery.
Saying more would be like trying to explain an impossible color.
The Endless follows a pair of brothers who, years after breaking free from the alien death cult with which they spent much of their youth, are called back into the fold by a mysterious force. As bizarre as it is, The Endless is the sort of film that only works if you enter its narrative with a wholly blank slate. It also masterfully blends elements of fantasy, sci-fi, and horror, all without relying on a high budget or A-list actors. Of course, that didn't stop The Endless from attracting near-universal critical acclaim on its release. Go in blind, come out terrified. By now, you should be well acquainted with the name Jeremy Saulnier. If not, there's no better place to start than with the astonishing one-two throat punch delivered by his 2013 and 2015 thrillers Blue Ruin and Green Room. Once you've gotten caught up on Saulnier's wildly original, beyond tense cinematic style, stick around Netflix for a little longer and treat yourself to the director's latest beastly brooder, Hold the Dark. Even though it lacks some of the visceral energy of his prior works, Hold the Dark is as accomplished a mystery film as any other you'll find streaming. Set largely among the gorgeous but unforgiving vistas of the Alaskan wilderness, Hold the Dark follows famed wolf expert Russell Core, who is called to an isolated village after a 6-year-old boy is lost and presumed killed by a pack of wolves. Once he arrives, Core finds nothing is quite what it seems with the town, the case itself, or the missing boy's mother. As Core continues his investigation, Saulnier twists Hold the Dark from a basic missing person mystery into a full-on Heart of Darkness-style metaphysical odyssey, complete with a finale that will leave you baffled, breathless, and broken in equal measure. If you're looking for a good old-fashioned mystery movie that'll tease your brain and raise your heart rate at the same time, you can always look to the tried-and-true spy thriller genre. After all, what could be better than a story that's entirely built around secrets and misdirection? And if it's Cold War intrigue you're after, then look no further than Thomas Alfredson's immaculately executed adaptation of John Le Carre's spy novel Tailor Soldier Spy. If you're wondering why Alfredson's name might sound familiar, it's because prior to Tailor Soldier Spy, he'd previously directed 2008's pitch-perfect vampire flick Let the Right One In. Naturally, Tailor Soldier Spy unfolds with the same meticulous pacing and propulsive, menacing energy. Only this go-round, Alfredson uses it to fuel a pitch-black, twist-a-minute thriller about the hunt for a Russian agent embedded in MI6. Leading the cast is a never-better Gary Oldman, who's surrounded by a veritable who's who of British screen talent including Tom Hardy, Benedict Cumberbatch, Toby Jones, John Hurt, and Colin Firth. Frankly, if the thought of that star-studded cast running down a spy ring in the 1970s doesn't get you pumped, the mystery genre might not be for you. Just saying. As far as cinematic subgenres go, daytime horror continues to be the one which most frequently disturbs even the staunchest of genre aficionados. After all, as unsettling as horror movies can get when things go bump in the night, seeing those things bump around in the light of day is often twice as disturbing. And although a few notable additions have been made to the daytime horror subgenre of late, the gold standard remains the Wicker Man. No, not that one.
Not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes!
This is Robin Hardy's masterful 1973 thriller, and as it happens, Hardy's film is also a near-flawless mystery movie whose unholy secrets aren't revealed until its jaw-dropping final moments. If you haven't seen Hardy's original Wicker Man for yourself, the film follows a devout detective who's dispatched to an isolated Scottish island to track down a missing girl. When he arrives, however, the townsfolk are quick to claim the girl isn't missing, because she never existed in the first place. From that central mystery, Hardy weaves an intricately spun web of intrigue that finds the detective unknowingly playing fly to a bloodthirsty spider. To say more would be to give the film away, but suffice to say that the film's portrayal of pagan theology is downright terrifying, and the film's ending is the stuff of cinematic legend. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more looper videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.